My wife is not in the country, and it's a young marriage of 2 years. Okay, I got married because I wanted to. The plan was for her to finish her studies and then we could relocate. But the processing is taking time, and as a Christian, I know that I have to keep myself from women until I meet her. But because of the delay, and she's not willing to come back, I started having, thoughts to
Cheat on her?
to sleep around,
Wow.
because you can't hold yourself, and I know that it is not good, and I can't discuss it with her because it will look as if I'm not a Christian. You should put your emotions under control.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 years of not seeing your wife can turn a man into something. No matter how you pray and fast and you get yourself engaged in a lot of activities, the problem is still there. And the thoughts have been coming, and I struggle. I struggle to make sure that I put it aside, and I don't see any end in sight, like when she will come back or when the processing will be complete. So the confession is that I've started something I've not done before. I've started nursing the idea of maybe bringing a woman home, maybe having an affair, maybe having a relationship, and I don't want to break down because she's a woman of value, and I want this still to work, the marriage to work. So, and being that while growing up, I never had an affair. She was the first woman in my life, and so I'm so angry with myself for the situation I found myself in. So I don't want to break the moral standards that I've had all my life. But the situation is getting beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
You never had an affair, then you got married, and then 1 month your wife left. So you tested something, and you have to get back to reality. It was better I didn't enter marriage, so that I would be living my bachelor life, without
Okay.
any
So,
disturbance.
so have you thought about the consequences of your action? So
I
have you
thought,
have you thought about the concept of what it is you want to do, the good and the bad of what it is that you want to do, even against your faith? Have you thought about that?
yeah, I have, and that's what is still keeping me because I she has even told me that if I ever catch you cheating on me,
Yeah.
the marriage is over.
Okay.
Even if the marriage is not over, I'll have to cheat myself so that both of us will be on the same level playing
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
We can even meet the pastor, and then we can start the counseling from there. So I thought about the consequences. I
Ah,
thought,
then that's no longer a marriage, actually. But
so I thought about the consequences, and it's still keeping me. But the situation is still there, and I thought about the solution.
I think that the situation is there because there is a way that we're analyzing what the supposed consequence is. So let me see whether I can give you an aspect worth considering. And you don't necessarily have to think it worth considering. So who's your greatest fear for? The supposition, the fact that you're a Christian and your faith believes that you should not fornicate or you shouldn't commit adultery. So it's more that you are holding your religious ideas as a hindrance to committing whatever it is that lingers in your mind. That, or that you're afraid of the God who would hold you accountable for what you have done.
Okay, the thing is this: my faith belief held me to this point, but at the moment I'm thinking that if you do it, God will forgive you.
Okay.
But the consequences is what I'm afraid of because I have a woman that will find out, and I cannot hide it from her. So
Okay. So do we continue to sin that grace may abound?
no. In
Good.
fact, I also have the opinion that there are some gates you should not open because once you open it, you
Oh,
cannot close it again.
thank you.
I know these things,
Oh,
but the problem is the reality is there.
no.
You
So
just
we subject the reality to what the truth is. And I don't want you to think I'm simplifying it. No. So we subject the reality. The reality is there, and you shouldn't deny it. But you subject it's like you're broke and you have an option to steal or not steal. It's like
No. It's not like I'm broke.
no, no,
I
no,
got
no, no, no,
married.
no, no. That was a reference. No, that was a reference. It's like, well, you have a bad and a worse situation. Then you have to choose between the bad and the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just making a reference. It's like, well, you're a woman, you don't have a job, you have an option to prostitute, or you have an option to manage something small that is not as
Okay.
lucrative as prostitution,
Okay.
and you choose. So these are hard choices.
See how it plays in my mind that makes me think it's okay for me to do it. I mean, I got married to satisfy this part of my life, and I'm not getting it, and I paid legitimately for it, but it's not there because of circumstances beyond our control, and that's frustrating because she's not a girlfriend, she's a wife.
So
And
why don't you rearrange your circumstances? And these sound like circumstances you can arrange. You either go meet her or she comes back.
she can't come back. She's busy with her studies, and the option of coming back to Nigeria with the whole security situation is. So I'm just caught in between devil and I don't know what to do.
Would you rather file for a divorce?
In the church, God does not like.
No, don't say that, because you must choose between the bad and the worst. You can't say God does not forgive divorce, but you're considering that if you fornicate, He'll forgive that.
I know it's
You're
so
laughing.
that's it.
I think it's possible to subject your reality to truth.
Of course, it is. It is.
And if you did that hard enough, you would wake up in a few weeks and this will not be a concern. You know whether you want to stay or you want to go, and if you want to stay, you're staying. So I'm not asking you to stay or go. I'm saying that we can subject reality to the truth.
Yes.
You will it. You will. It's like, I will not do this. I've seen Nigerians who had an opportunity to steal, but for conscience sake, they didn't steal. They're not rich men. They're not billionaires. And they see how the world treats poor people, and they choose against the world to not do evil. So there's a choice to be made.
Yes.
There's a choice to be made.
No, the choice is what has kept me to this point, but I'm breaking.
You're not breaking. No, you're not breaking. And I want you to not think that I'm minimizing it. You're not breaking. There is a concept that appears to be what looks like you're breaking. But the moment we subject reality to truth, let me tell you, what you're doing either or. You're either subjecting the truth to your reality, or you subject the reality to the truth. You're choosing one.
Okay.
No, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like you like to eat. It's like you like to eat something, and then you go to the hospital, and then the doctor says that thing that you like is what's killing you. Suddenly, you can stop eating it.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
You can just all of a sudden that thing you couldn't do without. So there's a colleague of ours who just came back from the U.S. and he said that while he was here, he used to smoke. I saw him as a smoker. I know him as a smoker. And then I didn't see him for a while, and I saw him, I think, 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, where are you? He said he's coming back from the U.S., that he was hospitalized, that he had a surgery in his liver. And I said, what happened? He said that he almost died, that, the smoking effect, that his lungs were closing up. And I say, so are you smoking now? He says he'll never touch that thing again. I'm like, oh, you took death for you to realize you had to give something up. So I'm only saying, I'm not making a choice for you. You can choose to have girlfriends over. You can choose to be straight. I'm not making your choices for you. I'm only emphasizing what I know is possible psychologically. And if you're able to establish the truth in your heart, it is possible for you to implement the truth in reality.
Fact. But the problem is, what if your environment puts the reality in front of you every day? Like I go to work, they tell me, how can you leave your wife? What kind of marriage are you doing? I go to church, I face the reality. They tell me, how can you as a Christian brother be married for 2 years, first years of a marriage, and you need to know each other, your wife. So everywhere I go, the reality stares at me. It takes somebody with a great moral strength to be able to dissociate yourself from reality and focus on the truth, which is you don't need to do this. Nigeria with their way of prognosing to people's affairs. You can't, if it's a, because like her now, she's over there, and all she gets is encouragement from her workers, from her colleagues that this thing will soon be over. But over here, it's attacks up and down. So from family, from friends, from church members, and it's difficult because no matter what you do, they put the reality in front of you and tell you what you're not doing, and that's the breaking point. I mean,
what makes no. So yeah, I agree, but I disagree when you call it a breaking point. Now, I'm not undermining the reality that you're confronted by. Yeah, what do you think makes men? And when I say men, I mean men and women. What do you think makes us? If you say this man, if you say this man is solid, what do you think that means? Is it that he has money, or that he has will?
His belief system, what he believes on, what he goes on to.
Okay, so when I ask the question, the answer to that question is will. It's not muscle. It's partly but it's will. It's that I will do something. In fact, to will something is probably the greatest form of human strength. So I think you should ask yourself the question, how strong a human being are you? It's not a question of a man or a woman, because women also get tested in like manner. So Jesus got tested. Satan came to him and said, look, you bow down to me, I'll give you this world. So we get tested. The question is not the test. The problem is, do we believe that we're capable to surmount supposed external pressure? I'm not telling you your choice. I'm saying that you can make a choice against these things. So somebody can meet you and tell you, how are you a Christian brother? And you shut him up. You tell him you don't want to hear it. If you tell him twice that you don't want to hear it, the next time he sees you, he carries his face. And you too, you carry your face. The Igbos will say, oh, what's that thing? Onyekele uche kele. My mom said, how does my parents say that thing? Like, if you greet me, I greet you. You don't greet me, it's all good. Like, and once they understand it, some of them will adjust. That's it.
Exactly, yeah.
What benefit? Then think about it. What benefit is them telling you, how can you, and then you go and can what they told you to can? Then what is your victory? Is for you want to sit around ordinary men so they can clap for you and call you a man. What did Paul say about men who compare themselves to men?
Yeah, right. Just I have to work on my will system under God.
Anybody who doesn't want to, you cut them off. Why are you waiting for them to cut them off first? Let them know that you're a serious guy. Except you really want to do it.
No. That's why I'm seeking for help.
Something you don't want to do, you don't want to do. Don't let somebody tell you rubbish. Once they open their mouth, you shut it up. They see you coming. Then they avoid you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Look, it's hard, but it's not against what we're capable of. That's my persuasion. It's not against it's not beyond what we're capable of. Yeah. It's like that thing that almost kills you, but you don't die. Exactly.